Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. Coach Day, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, hold on 1 second, please. Okay, Coach, if you'll give a brief opening statement, then we'll open the floor to questions. And Coach, go ahead. It's the floor is yours.
Yeah, obviously very happy for this team after such a long journey to get here after last season. It's something that weighed heavy on us after this game. So to come full circle against a great team in Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, one of the best quarterbacks to play in the history of college football, and against a great program, to come back and win after last year with all the trials and tribulations we've been through in the last 12 months. Just couldn't be happier for this team. Shows so much character. I got to tell you, it was hard, and this team really showed what they're made of, and it was fun to be out there tonight.
Okay, we'll go first to CL Hall. If you would, identify yourself by name and media outlet first, please.
Hey, Coach. Clay Hall, ABC6 in Columbus. What's sweeter tonight, the breakthrough against Clemson or the chance to play for the title? And what did Dabo say to you, perhaps, as you met at midfield?
Well, coming into this game, after last year, we wanted to come back and have an opportunity to play in the CFP and then go on to have a chance to win the national championship. And that's where we're at right now. Because of the way it all played out, because it was Clemson, just like we played them last year, I think that had a lot of, added flavor to it. And a lot of guys left that field feeling like they let one get away. And so, in life, you don't typically get an opportunity to have a second chance. You can't miss the second time. So, I don't know what we're more excited about, the fact that we have a chance to play for a national championship or the fact that we avenged that loss. But we're going to enjoy it tonight, have a great champions meeting and move on from there. And to answer your second question, Dabo's always been nothing but professional to me. And, said have a great game, go win it all.
Thank you.
Next, we'll shift to Jared Smalley.
Ryan, Jared Smalley, WCMH in Columbus. Ryan, a question about Justin's performance tonight. When you obviously he takes a huge hit and he kind of grimaces through the pain, but he also turns out a record-setting performance, 6 touchdowns. Can you just walk us through the conversations you had with him during the game, checking on and making sure he's well, and then the attack mode that he showed, going downfield, keeping Clemson on its heels? Can you run us through his night and the highs and lows of it all?
I think in Justin's career, last year he didn't play in the second half of a lot of games. And then this year we played in 6 games leading up to this game. So, he hadn't played in a lot of big games like this before. So, the Indiana game kind of, bothered him. And then, last week, a lot of people, talking poorly about him, as a quarterback, and that bothered him. He didn't play well in that game, and he knew it, but he learned a lot about himself as a quarterback this week, and he got right back to work. He felt sorry for himself for 24 hours, and the conversations we had was, you go out and play good in this game and you win this game, nobody's going to remember the Big Ten championship game. They're going to remember this one, and they'll remember it for a long time in the history of Ohio State football. And what does he do? He goes out and throws 6 touchdown passes. He takes a really tough hit, and he just looked at me and I said, "How you doing? Are you going to be able to make it?" He goes, "I don't have a choice. I have to." And at that point, we had to kind of figure out what he couldn't do for a little while, and we kind of figured that part of it out. He couldn't do everything, but what a gutsy performance! What a tough and special young man Justin Fields is.
Next, we'll go to Dennis Dodd.
Hey, Ryan, congratulations. Could you tell us how bad the ribs were? Were they sprained? Were they broken? Were they sore? And what kind of treatment did he get at halftime to be able to come back out there?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was. I said, "What happened?" He goes, "I took a shot and it kind of hurts over here." I said, "Okay, well, why don't you go get with the doctors and we'll kind of figure that part of it out." I knew he's tough. I will get an assessment here, tonight, maybe into tomorrow, and figure out exactly what it was and what happened. But I really don't know. I just asked, can you do it? He says yes, and we kept rolling from there.
Next, we'll shift to Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Hi, Ryan. Congratulations. I know it's hard in this moment to kind of put perspective on things, but Ohio State had not won a playoff game since 2014. It was Alabama and Clemson that had kind of risen to the top. How big was this for the program to get over this hump, to beat Clemson, and now be able to do what you have a chance to do?
I think it's huge. Now we still have another game to play, and this thing's not done yet. But I do think this was big for us. This was a statement for us as a program to win a CFP game, especially after what happened last year, and to play the way we did. It means a lot for our program. But we're not done. We got a lot of work to do. Got to get on this film, figure out some things to adjust, because we got a really talented Bama team that we got to go play.
Next up, we'll have a question from Tim May.
Thank you very much. Hey, Ron, I'm going to squeeze two in here real quick. Number one, of all the sites you saw from Justin tonight, which is the one that will stick with you? Maybe I'll just leave it at that. But what's the one from your unique vantage point that will stick with you from this performance?
I think it was kind of a blur, but there was a time in there when I guess he came off the injury, went back in, and then threw the touchdown pass. Was it to Ruck maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, I'm like, can you throw? And he says, I think I can. I said, well, here we go. We got to go. You got to give me some information. He said, I think I can do it. And he throws a frozen rope in there, and he's kind of holding himself as he runs off the field. I just thinking to myself, this kid is tough. I mean, he comes back for the Team Up North game last year, from the knee injury. He does it again in this game. So much of being a great quarterback is being tough. And he's tough.
Number 11 ranking, they've only played 6 games thing.
Next, we'll shift to Nathan Bird with Cleveland.com, and remind everyone, please mute your mic if you don't have the floor.
Extra motivation, extra ways.
Hey, Ryan, you kind of, I think, touched on this a little bit, but when we talked to Justin earlier this week,
hang on one sec. Someone's got to get muted here.
I think it's really important to be gracious in victory and defeat.
I think it's coming in from the other interview.
Dennis, mute.
We good?
Yeah, I
I
think
think we're good now.
Okay.
Nathan, are you?
I'm here. I was just saying that when we talked to Justin earlier in the week, he seemed to have kind of a little bit of an edge to him, maybe in a way that we don't usually see from him. What did you kind of get from him just in terms of demeanor and just sort of his conviction or whatever in this last week to 10 days?
Well, he had an edge to him. I mean, this is a competitive guy that has had a lot of success. So to come off of that game, not playing his great game, I mean, that doesn't sit well with him. And he doesn't like, hearing people talk, ill will about him. And so it didn't sit well with him at all. He had an edge to him all week, and that's what great competitors do. So really cool to see.
Next up, we'll have Rob Aller.
Hey, Ryan. Coaches always say they never know what they're going to get till game day, but every facet of your team tonight was on fire. When did you know that was the way it was going to be?
I don't know. Maybe midway through, I guess right around the second quarter, I guess. I mean, it wasn't a great start. We went 3 and out, 3 in Gatorade, and they're going right down the field and scoring. So we kind of got some rhythm going. I felt like we had a pretty good rhythm calling the game, kind of caught him off guard, I think, a little bit early on. And then Justin started to get into his rhythm. Certainly got a little concerned when he took that shot. So it was somewhere there, beginning of second, midway through the second. Again, it all becomes a blur to me. But when we probably scored, we got into that 21 range right there. The defense started getting some stops. He started to feel like maybe we got a chance to really, roll in this game.
I even meant coming into the game. Did you know sort of that these guys were primed?
No. I mean, you don't know. We hadn't really played a team like Clemson coming in. We hadn't played a lot of games. We hadn't played our best game.
on offense. We hadn't played our best game on defense. We hadn't played our best game on both sides. So there was a lot of anxiety coming into the game.
Next, we'll go to Austin Ward with Letterman Row.
Ryan, I know everybody on your roster had a unique journey and a lot of adversity, but for Chris Olave, with the way he walked off the field last year, missing the game 2 weeks ago, that has to be special for him and for you to see him do that. How important is he just to the overall success of this team?
Oh yeah, I mean, that game didn't sit well with him the way he came off that field, and how many times did he have to watch that play? He and Justin watched that play over and over again of the kid Turner getting that touchdown at the end of the game. I mean, it just made him sick. And they're such great competitors that they were hungry, that they wanted to come back and win. And so, we were really nervous that when he went down with COVID, we weren't going to get him back. He didn't really practice fully, so it was a little dicey going into the week. But started to get his legs back underneath him towards the end of the week, and then comes out and plays the way he does in a big spot. I mean, one of the more clutch players, I think, as a receiver, and maybe the history of Ohio State football when you think back on it. And, wow, what a player he is.
Next, we'll shift to Dan Hope with the 11 Warriors.
Ryan, when you consider all the different, aspects of tonight, where does this performance by Justin Fields rank among the quarterback performances you've seen?
As high as I can think of right now. I mean, I'm coming off the game, so I'm a little biased, but for him to come in and play like this against his defense, amazing. He was 22 of 28, a couple of those throwaways, the interception, that was my fault. I should have run the ball. I shouldn't have put him in that spot. 385, 6 touchdowns. Yeah, I don't know if there's a better game, but I'm obviously biased right now coming off the field after the way he played. But I think this performance by not only Justin, but this team hopefully will go down in Ohio State history is a landmark game because we want to go in and win the national championship, but there was a lot of tough days over the last 6 months. And this team stuck together, and the people of Ohio and Buckeye Nation and all the people who love the Buckeyes, I hope they were able to at least watch the game tonight and get away from what a crazy year this has been and celebrate this game with us, because that's a huge part of why we do what we do, even though we haven't been able to see them. Maybe there's some young kids out there who want to be like Justin Fields and Chris Olave and Tuff Borland and Jonathan Cooper. And that's what this thing's all about.
We have time for 2 more questions. We'll go first to Stephen Hellwagen.
Yeah, Coach, tremendous sentiment right there. And I think a lot of people appreciate that. I want to ask about your defense. In the first half, they gave up the 2 early touchdowns, and then you got one stop after another and kept them at bay, allowed you to build the lead and get the cushion you needed to win this thing.
I thought the game plan was excellent by our defensive staff. I thought our defensive players really spent a lot of time putting it on the field, and they executed at a high level. I thought our D-line was awesome. I thought the plan going in was excellent. That we knew they were going to make plays. We stuck together, though. We didn't flinch when they got a couple of touchdowns, and we just kept going after them. And again, was it perfect? I don't know, but it was gutsy, and they played really good. And we played complimentary football tonight. And when you go up the way we did, kind of you're hanging on a little bit at the end. And I thought what our defense did a good job of it. They didn't give up the big play. They kept it in front. They kept making them go one more play, one more play, one more play. And that's the idea. And I think we learned our lesson from that Indiana game there. And because of that, we were able to play the way we did and finish the game the way it should be.
Our final question for Coach Day will come from Brendan Gulick from Buckeyes Now.
Hey, Coach, I'd like to ask you about Trey Sermon. Obviously, Trey, statistically had another pretty impressive game tonight, but it felt like he really kind of announced his presence when you guys needed a shot in the arm the most. Your first score, it felt like the offense was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the game, and then on a 3-play drive, and 2 of those were big plays by Sermon in particular. Then obviously he went on to have a big game. Just what has Trey Sermon meant to you guys that maybe we haven't been able to see? Because the last 2 games have been pretty special performances from him.
Yeah, I mean, it started in the Michigan State game. That was the first one where he kind of, I guess coming out party is the best way to put it. I think it was where he got his confidence. And then the last 2 games he's been excellent. I mean, he's been a big time back, like a difference maker. He really wasn't early on. I think he was kind of finding his way, but wow. I mean, whether it's in the pass game, whether it's in protection, and obviously running the football, he's been special. And but again, you got to give a lot of credit to our offensive line, our tight ends. There was a point there where we weren't going to run Justin, so and the defense knew it. So we weren't getting the extra hat. We had to, it was ugly, but we had to make it work. And those guys played good.
Coach Day, congratulations and thank you for your time and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
We will be joined shortly by Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields, and we'll go straight to questions when he sits down. We're joined now by Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. Justin, thank you for being with us. Our first question will come from Tony Gerdeman.
Justin, I'm just wondering, how are you feeling right now, and what was it that made you stay in the game, and why?
I mean, my body's pretty beat up right now, but I'm happy, and my teammates are happy, and this is a feeling like no other. So I know my body's gonna be hurt tomorrow morning, but it's worth it for this win and for my teammates. So I think that's really what pushed me. I was just thinking, all the things that we've sacrificed as a team, and that's really what got me through the whole game.
Next, we'll go to Joey Kaufman with the Columbus Dispatch.
Justin, congrats on the win. When you came back in the game after taking the shot to the ribs, at what point did you feel like you were kind of back in the zone or back feeling comfortable again?
I mean, I feel like I was always in the zone, but of course, I wasn't really able to run, or it would really hurt every time I threw the ball. So I would just not really worried about that during the play and just deal with the pain after the throw. So of course, when you're in the play and you're going through reads and stuff like that, and you're about to throw the ball, you're not worried about your side hurting. You're just playing football. But of course, after each and every throw, my ribs would hurt for sure.
Our next question will come from Bill Landis with the Athletic.
Hey, Justin. I'm wondering maybe what might have been a little more painful for you, the ones where you had to throw the ball down the field to Chris and Jamison, or the one where you really had to put some heat on it to kind of thread the needle there or ruck in the end zone?
Like I said, like during the throw, I feel like it didn't hurt. I didn't feel it. It was just like afterwards. But I mean, really, like even throwing like 10 yards, it would hurt. So, I mean, but it's a game of football we play. I signed up for it, but I'm just glad we got the win.
Our next question will come from Adam Rittenberg from ESPN.com.
Hey, Justin, what did the doctors actually tell you? What the extent of the injury? Was it broken or sprain? I mean, what was the actual diagnosis?
They didn't tell me. They didn't really tell me anything. I took like a shot or two in the tent and just ran back out there. But I mean, it's pretty much my whole right torso that's messed up. A little bit of my head, but they didn't really give me a diagnosis at all.
Next, we'll go to Andrea Adelson.
Justin, you guys look like a completely different team than the one we had seen previously this season. How much did that fact wanted?
I think you like broke up a little bit asking the question. So if you could ask that again.
Sorry about that. You guys look like a completely different team than what we had seen previously this season. And I'm wondering how much that had to do with the fact that you all had circled this game and wanted a rematch with Clemson since last year.
Yeah, I just think, everybody doubting us, just pushed us a little more. And like I said earlier in the week, I prepared for this game like I've never prepared for a game before. So I think that showed on the field, and I'm just proud of my brothers, proud of my teammates, and proud of the way they played.
Our next question will come from Lucas Weiss with Last Word on Sports.
Hey, Justin, thank you so much for taking the time. Congratulations on the win.
Coach Day was in just a few moments ago and just said how this win will, have a great impact on the program of the people of Ohio, that the young kids will look up to you and say, I want to be like Justin Fields. How do you see your performance having an impact for the people of Ohio who have gone through a lot this year?
I mean, Coach Day, he's a great leader, great coach. He treats me like his own son. There would be no other coach I'd like to play with in the whole country. I mean, he's everything you would want in a coach, everything you would want in a person. And to have him as our leader, it's just makes me a better person, makes everybody on the team a better person. And I think everybody on the team can tell you that. But as far as, being a role model to the kids in Ohio, it's really just, this just shows that anything is possible. And, with God, I just put all my faith and trust in him. So I'm just, just grateful, and I'm blessed.
Next, we'll go to Donnie Woods.
Congrats on your win tonight. You mentioned in the past that last year the game was swung not by the game-ending interception, but the targeting call on your teammate last year. Do you think the targeting call this game was a momentum swing, and what does this win mean to you personally?
No, I don't think this game really had, that, of course, turning point. I think, I guess early on, we were both kind of scoring, going back and forth. But I think, just our relentlessness throughout the whole game, I think that's what pushed us through. And I forgot what your second question was.
What does this win mean to you personally?
I mean, it means a lot, I was really just going out there playing for God and playing for my brothers, not even myself, because Coach Day, he deserves it. Everybody in this program deserves it. Just by the way, they handle with everything that happened in 2020, and it's definitely a great year to start 2021. So I'm excited.
We'll go next to Mark Russell.
Hey, Justin, can you talk a little bit about how you all signaled in the plays during the game this time? Looked like you did a little more traditional huddle as opposed to what we've normally seen throughout the year. So if you could just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we just didn't want them stealing our signals, and that's pretty much why we huddled up a little bit more than we usually do. So. Yeah.
Next up, we'll have Sean Dunnigan with WBNS.
Justin, was there something you guys saw that got the tight ends open when you were game planning for this game?
No, not really. I think, throughout the year, I've missed the tight ends a lot on a lot of plays. So it was pretty much just going back to the basics and, seeing the plays that they were open on and kind of utilizing those guys more. I mean, those are the two of the best tight ends in the country. And, I'm just glad we finally got to use them.
Next, we'll go back to Austin Ward with Letterman Row.
Justin, we've all watched Chris Olave for a long time. We know how important he is to your team, but getting him back, the motivation that he had for this one, evaluate how great he played tonight and how much more comfortable you are when he's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very comfortable with Chris out there, and of course he had a hell of a game. And we were just talking about all week how this game can make a everlasting impact, and this game controls our legacy. So we stayed out at practice and threw routes on that one rollout touchdown. We probably went over that about 20 times at the practice one day. So we knew that was a call that we're going to get in the red zone, and we executed it well. So I'm just proud of Chris and the way he played tonight.
We have time for two more questions. The first will come from Jared Smalley.
Justin, I'm purely curious about before the game. Obviously, you were so focused on the work you had to do. Did you all even know that Alabama won the first game? And I'm just curious your first reaction. You know exactly who they are. You know a lot of the guys. I would imagine. I would imagine that's a fairly exciting opportunity on the 11th. But did you all have any knowledge that they had actually won and how they played?
No, we saw. I think we were watching it the first quarter before we came to the stadium, but I had no idea that they won. It's not really surprising that they won. They've been playing really well this year, and they have a lot of great athletes, great coaches. So yeah, I'm just excited to get the opportunity to play them.
Our final question for Justin will come from Dan Hope with 11 Warriors.
Hey, Justin, Coach Day said that he thought you had a different edge these past couple of weeks after, some of the people were criticizing the way you played against Northwestern. Did you feel that in yourself, that you had a different edge these past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely felt it. And, I think, that game happened for a reason. Like I said earlier in the week, it just made me prepare more and prepare like I've never prepared before. So I definitely had an edge, playing this game and preparing for this game every day at practice. So I'm just, again, proud of my teammates, proud of my coaches, and just happy to be here.
Justin, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Will that be it on this feed?
Yes, I believe so.